I'm going to walk the Camino de Santiago over the next 5 days. Why did I decide to do it? But honey, isn't it tough to walk that much?
Diego, get your ass moving already and stop being such a crybaby. You're stressing me out too.
Alright, thanks. I'm one of those many Galicians who has never experienced walking the Camino, and I want to document my entire journey as I go from being a complete amateur to a full-fledged pilgrim, arriving at the Cathedral of Santiago. I'm going to record everything in the rawest way possible. In other words, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, but I'll try to make each video about the Camino as enjoyable as possible, and my opinions and feelings will be completely transparent. But honestly, I have no idea about a lot of things. I mean, the only thing I know is that I'm going to do the route from Sarria to Santiago, which from what I've seen is the most typical and the best if you're a beginner. But honestly, I don't know much else. I mean, I don't know if what I'm bringing will be useful, if I'm going to forget something. I'm really afraid of getting lost. But anyway, luckily, they're going to transport another suitcase I have, apart from my backpack. And I've already booked my accommodation, so in that sense, everything's cool. But anyway, enough with the introductions. Tomorrow my journey begins from Sarria to Santiago, so let's head straight there. Well, here we are in Sarria. I've arrived and honestly I was lucky that someone brought me here, so this is the room. It's actually pretty cute. What I brought here for the journey is in these suitcases. Well, this one will be transported for me and I've packed clothes, changes of clothes, and basically anything I won't need on a daily basis. And here I've already packed everything like tissues, nuts for the walk, and the cameras for filming. Well, I have a feeling that tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and I'm going to realize that I've forgotten something super important, but well, I guess that's inevitable, right? Especially being the way I am. Luckily, I ran into Damian, a travel guide for the Camino de Santiago, who's going to accompany a group from Mallorca who are doing the same route as I am. I went out for a drink with him and he also gave me some tips and told me I could join him and the group whenever I wanted. Honestly, he's a really nice guy. Once I talked to him and he introduced me to the group, I went to have dinner at my hostel, quietly getting myself ready for the next day. But before moving on to the next day, I'll leave you with a little forecast of what I think is gonna happen. I think tomorrow's gonna be an easy day for me since I'm someone who exercises, usually walks, and I think tomorrow will be fine. I think after the second day I might start to feel a bit more tired maybe. I think it's up to Palas de Rey, and I believe the toughest day, it's probably a bit obvious, will be the third day when I have to walk almost 30 kilometers to Arzua. But nobody is going to take away my stop in Melide for some octopus. So that's it. I'm excited to get started and let's see what happens. I have to say that I slept very little this first night because whenever I sleep in a new place, it's always really hard for me to get any rest on the first day. But anyway, I get everything ready for the day, head down for breakfast and fuel up because the adventure is about to begin. I started out on my own from Sarria and I didn't know if I would end up getting lost because I'm a complete newbie, and on top of that, I was still half asleep. Google Maps is taking me this way. I have no idea where I'm going to end up. Luckily, I just had to follow the other pilgrims and could put my mind on autopilot in the meantime. I arrive at the Sarria sign, snap a quick photo to capture the start. Oh my god, look at my face. And now the real fun begins. Natural stretches with the sunrise in the background and an incredible sense of peace. Starting the day like this instead of stressed out and rushing everywhere is medicine for the body. Here I started to realize that I was going at a really good pace since I was passing other pilgrims but not getting tired. And this made me feel really good and say the following. Well, so far, the Camino is actually going pretty well. Today I've tackled quite a few hills, but I have to say that none of them compared to the hills I had to climb to get to my mom's house, so I think I was born for this. Honestly, hearing myself say this, knowing what's coming is fantastic. After walking for a while longer, I took a break to recharge at a place Damian recommended to me. And wow, the fresh juices they have here are so good. Here I met up with Damian and the group of Mallorcans I was with. I stayed and chatted with them and decided to continue my adventure, but now with company. Is everyone here? Yes, I'm red. I'll stand over here. 1, 2, yes. It's actually a video, you know? By the way, if I said I was going fast, you can't imagine the pace Damian was setting. And one thing I wanted to mention is that if you come to do the Camino, it's better to have at least a minimum level of fitness. I exercise regularly and try to get in 10,000 steps a day, and even so there were moments on this first day when I struggled a bit. So now I'll leave you with the testimony of a friend I made on the Camino who leads a more sedentary lifestyle. We were talking about this before recording you, asking how your first day went and comparing it to the last one.
If I'm already saying this, just imagine what the last guy is going to have to say.
She's saying this because she was already talking about how tired she was before I started recording.
Look, I'm fine, it's just that I'm tired. I just want to take off my shoes, my socks, get some water on my feet.
But anyway, we've reached the final stretch where we have to go down this slope before getting to Portomarin. Well, we're almost at Portomarin now. We're about to finish the first day, and honestly, it's about time. I can't imagine what the third day will be like. We passed by the Liberty Bell, crossed the bridge, climbed the stairs, and finally arrived in Portomarin. First day completed. I'm going to have a raxo with fries with Damien and drop my things off in the room. Oh god, I really needed this. Now I'll leave you with a mini summary of today's stage. Well, that's it. We're here in Portomarin now. Honestly, this stage was pretty cool. It's true that the first 3/4 of the stage weren't hard for me. It was actually pretty easy, but the last part, after a little break we took, started to get a bit tough. I had forgotten there was such a big downhill coming here. Honestly, that was pretty fun. And this stage was really cool. I mean, lots of nature, great weather, not too hot or too cold, lots of animals, pilgrims, and an amazing atmosphere. Everyone's super friendly. And now I'm going to take a shower because I'm exhausted. I'm definitely going to take a nap. And later this afternoon, I'll go out and shoot some footage of the town of Portomarin because honestly, I think it's a really beautiful town. And right now, I just need to rest. And that little rest did me so much good. After a while, I went for a walk around the town and it's just so beautiful. It's a super peaceful place where you can really feel a sense of calm. And, well, it also has a really interesting history. For those who do not know, Portomarin was originally founded on the banks of the Minho River, but in the 1960s, the Beleza Reservoir was built to generate hydroelectric power. This meant that the town would end up submerged underwater, so they moved Portomarin to a higher area, but still right next to where it used to be. In fact, there are examples like the Church of San Nicolas, which was rebuilt by numbering its stones so it could be relocated exactly as it was. It's definitely something I find amazing. And, well, while I was filming some shots, I was mesmerized by the Portomarin Bridge because I could compare the Roman bridge where the old town used to be and the massive bridge that stands there now. Wow, something that blows my mind is that the interesting thing here isn't just that there's both the new and the old bridge, which I'll actually go to in a moment, but that you can clearly see the remains of the structures from the old town, the old Portomarin that used to be here. I mean, just thinking that the town used to be down here and they ended up moving it up there seems crazy to me. And honestly, the Camino is an amazing experience. I've only been doing it for a day, but I already think it's great because I really wanted to take a break, a reset from the typical routine of you wake up, you have to do this, you have to work, you have to go here, you have to go there. And honestly, bringing a bit of silence, tranquility, and peace of mind is something that's really cool. I loved the first stretch I did, the first 11 kilometers that I walked alone, because I was just with myself, thinking about my own things, enjoying the scenery, which I think is something we often don't do. Being present, actually seeing what's right in front of you instead of thinking about what happened yesterday or what might happen tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think the stage is from Portomarin to Palas de Rey, which is about the same distance as I did today. What worries me a bit is the third day, when I have to go all the way to Arzua. And that's almost 30 kilometers, plus the accumulated fatigue I'll have by then. My feet are a little sore, and it's true that so far I haven't had any blisters or redness or anything like that, but honestly, I don't really want to get any either. I do have to say though that I'm not sleeping well at all, really not at all, because whenever I sleep away from home I already have trouble sleeping well. Let's see if my body can handle the fatigue and it doesn't build up too much. But anyway, even though I didn't sleep very well, I'm glad I decided to take a walk around Portomarin. Like I said, it's beautiful. I'm going to leave you with some shots of the town before ending the video because honestly, as I said, I loved it. I really mean it, I promise. I loved this town, Portomarin. I loved seeing this bridge and honestly, wow, really, seeing all this nature, which you normally don't get much of when you live in the city, it's truly amazing. And honestly, for me, things like doing the Camino de Santiago or activities that help you reconnect, not disconnect, but reconnect, with yourself, with what you love, with who you are, with what you want to do, that recharge your energy. Those are the kinds of things we should do, I don't know, at least once, 2 or 3 times a year to recharge ourselves and not forget what we want and where we want to go. This is the end of the first day on the trail, a day that marks the beginning of this little adventure and reminds me that the important thing about going through a process isn't just the destination you reach, but what you experience and enjoy along the way. Time to go to sleep, because tomorrow there's another walk and I'm looking forward to seeing what new landscapes and people I'll encounter along the way. I hope you enjoy joining me in the upcoming videos about my own journey along the Camino de Santiago. Bye! My god, recording by yourself is something else, man. You have to keep trying takes over and over again.